What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Tuya Knives Wrath. So this is, I believe, their newest or second newest model. It's up there with the Mutt that I have previously done a review on and have in the collection. Absolutely love that knife. It came out around the same time. Honestly, I think this came out it came out around the same time, but I think they got these in like a week or two before. So I guess technically this is their second newest model, but this thing is fantastic. It is currently let's see, I've checked out the Big Belly, I've checked out the Kaladin, I have checked out the NVV4, and I've checked out the Mutt, and now this, and this is 5 for 5 on Tuya bangers. This honestly might be the best, form and function, fit and finish, fidgetability, carry, ergos. Like, this knife is really, really good. And I wasn't, I signed up for it. This is coming in via the Apex passaround group. I signed up for it and I was excited for it, but I did not expect to, it to be this good. And I don't know why, because, I had the Mutt in. I really love the Mutt. It's a really, really good knife. And every other, Tuya knife I've handled has been really good so far. Fit and finish, everything like that has just been knocked out of the park. So I don't know why I wasn't more excited for this one, but when I got this in and I started fidgeting with it, I was like, man, this thing is so good. It's smooth, it's snappy, has good, ergos, good acoustics, good materials, just everything you want in a good knife, the Wraith has. So just a really, really good knife, and I've enjoyed carrying it. I'm going to miss it when it's gone. So we're going to get into materials real quick. So before that, we're going to go over the 6 different variations that they have. And of course, we'll talk about price point and, what I recommend this knife at the end, like I typically do. But there are 6 different options. So the first one is a frag and satin blade, which is this version right here, which we'll talk more about specifics in a minute. Then you have a frag and DLC blade. So it's a black coated blade with it looks to be bronze, kind of anode finish on the titanium. Those 2 are currently in stock on Tuya Knives, which I will leave a link to down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. And then the other one that is in stock is a diamond pattern DLC blade. So it's a it's a DLC coated blade, and then another like bronze anode titanium, but it has sort of diamond texturing, so it's real small milling marks on there. Those are the 3 in stock. And then the 3 out of stock are the diamond pattern satin blade, which I think is just, it's not letting me show it on the website because it's out of stock, so it won't let me click on the image. But the diamond pattern satin blade, which I'm assuming looks just like this except for diamond pattern. And then there are 2 Sagaha patterns, which one has a DLC coated blade and one has a satin blade. Those are also out of stock. But again, 3 versions are in stock are frag and satin, which is this one. Then you have the frag and DLC coated blade, and then you have the diamond pattern with the DLC coated blade. They are all currently in stock on the website if you guys are interested in getting to know one of these bad boys. So without further ado, we're going to jump into specific materials. So obviously, this is rocking some beautiful frag titanium scales with a little bit of, I believe that's a Mokutai pivot collar. I'll try to see if it says on here. It does not, but I believe that's Mokutai or something like that. A little flash of, color, which is cool. There is a lanyard hole right there. As for deployment method, you have dual thumb studs with a very generous thumb flipper. You have a frame lock. There is a Tuya logo on the pivot with a righty only carry milled titanium pocket clip that's very flush. The knife goes in a pocket, works very, very well. You can see some relief cuts right there. Then over here, you just have I call this a drop point with a compound grind. So this is also S90V, which is cool. Right there, DW for Dave Warren, and then S90V. You have a swedge building up here. You have a nice, super deep hollow grind right here. And then you have a sort of a compound tanto grind right there. Nice forward finger choil. Beautiful satin on the blade. There are ceramic bearings in here, and there are lots of milling pockets on this knife, so it's pretty lightweight for what it is. There are 4 So 4 milling pockets on both sides of the knife. You guys might be able to see in there a little bit. This knife is numbered 93 out of 172. So I'm assuming, I don't know if that means there's 172 of the frag or just the frag in satin, but this is numbered, which is really cool. It's on the inside of the backspacer. You guys can kind of see up in there. Always a nice little hidden feature right there. Then of course you do have the backspacer on the outside. So I think that's all for materials. So next we're going to talk about action. Now action on this is very good. It's has a very snappy detent. You guys can hear it snapping back into place. So thumb flick fires out very well. Middle finger flick fires out very well. And this detent is very stout. And the thumb studs, I guess if I had one little complaint on it, the thumb studs are a little bit sharp until you get used to the knife. They're just, pretty flush right there. They're not really like stepped up or anything like that. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. But it works well. You just kind of have to, like I said, get your fingers used to it, and it might tear up your thumb for a little bit, or your middle finger for a little bit, until you flick this knife a ton and just kind of build up that muscle memory and that familiarness. And you can, if you put too much lock bar pressure on there, you can get it to your thumb will just kind of bounce right off of it. But again, once you get used to the knife, then you really don't have too much to worry about. But front flip works very well. It is arguably one of the best front flippers I've ever handled before. Just fires out of there. Nice snapping. You guys can hear. Great acoustics. The wax out. Fires out. Just fires out very, very nicely. And then that front flip. Also get a very nice snap. So the acoustics on this are very nice. Now with the closing, you have plenty of lock bar access in there with some jimping on the lock bar. Drops to your nail. One shake and you close. One shake. Or some micro shakes. Nice, smooth. Now for blade play, no blade play at all. This thing is locked up tighter than a bank vault. You can also do this, which I like to do, especially when you have a choil. It's just gonna fall right into your thumb. Just nice, smooth, repetitive, just very, very nice. Action on the Tuya Wrath is very, very good. Now, one thing I did forget to talk about is blade length and weight and overall length. So blade length is 3.35 inches on this. Overall length, 7.75. And weight is coming in at 3.8 ounces. So a sub 4 ounce knife with a 3.35 inch blade. Pretty damn nice, especially when you're getting full titanium on the knife. So I forgot, I apologize for not mentioning that earlier to you guys. That is my fault. But yeah, action is, nice, snappy detent, good close, good action all around, no complaints. 10 out of 10 for the Wraith. So next up, we're going to talk about the ergos on this knife. And it's a pretty, overall pretty plain, simple looking design, I guess I can say is probably the better term for it. But you have a straight line right here, tails off to the butt end of the knife. And you have a ridge, kind of, gets skinny, swells right here with this ridge, and then gets skinny again for a, in a groove for your finger. Then of course you have the choil right there. But choked back, you do have a little bit of jimping, which is just the jimping from the front flipper. So it's really not doing too much. Honestly, your thumb just slides off of it super easy anyway. But choked back, of course, your pointer finger goes here in the finger groove. The rest of your fingers follow suit. Thumb lands right out here, about halfway out the knife on the swedge. Very, very comfortable. The pot clit is nice and flush to the knife, so you're not going to be getting hot spots from that or anything. It feels really good in the hand. And honestly, you can't feel it much at all in the hand, which is very, very nice. But yeah, very comfortable. Of course, you have the frag tie, which some frag ties can be a little aggressive just due to how they're milled, and you have so many corners. You pretty much have each square that you cut. Don't want to talk to Siri. Each square that you cut has, 4 corners. So all 4 of those corners can be sharp, but these are all nicely textured. They're, they're there, but they're not like ripping out your hands, which is very nice. Even the edges are all milled down and sanded off nice and smooth. So that's very nice, but it just gives you that extra grip. And the hammer grip and saber grip works very, very well. You can do push cuts. Pinch grip works really good if you're, ripping down into something, cutting around something very specific. Now, when you choke up, middle finger here goes in the groove, 2 fingers follow suit, and then your pointer finger wraps around the choil, which the choil isn't the biggest in the world. Honestly, I'm never one to, when you have a choil available, I'm always one to use it, and I always push towards using it. But honestly, this might be a little bit better of a grip for me than this, just because, you know, if you had smaller hands, it might not be that big of an issue. But I can feel the blade, not the blade edge, but just the, you know, corner right there, kind of just digging into my skin a little bit. And it might not be comfortable if I'm doing something long term when I'm choked up like this. But, you know, in a pinch, it works well. You get very good control over it. You know, your thumb lands even farther out here. You have that much sticking out of your hand. You get a really good purchase if you have to go around, you know, something specific, and you have to be careful of cutting through something or around something, or, you know, whatever you may be doing. You get a very good grip with this, and it's not gonna slide out of your hands, and you don't have to worry about that at all. And then of course, you get to do some 7-Eleven knife fights with Kevin. You do have a nice landing area back here for your thumb. You have to do some stabs or whatever you do in a knife fight. But long story short, ergos are good on this knife. You know, very comfortable. The most comfortable I've ever handled before? No, but they're very, very good. And I really like the way that they did the frag milling, because again, it's not too aggressive. It's not too, you know, eating up your hands. It's just right. And I think it's one of the better ones I've handled before. So I have to give them a very, you know, very nice round of applause for the way they decided to finish and mill their frag ties. So kudos to you, Tuya and Dave. But yeah, next we're going to talk about carry. And of course, like I said earlier, this is righty only carry. For some reason, I thought there might have been a filler tab for lefties, but there is not. But the pod clip is a milled titanium pod clip. It goes pretty honestly close to that butt of the knife. You have about that much sticking up out, maybe a little bit more depending on how thick your pants are. But honestly, that is not bad at all. I can live with that every single day. And it, you know, goes in and out pocket very well. If you have it in pocket, you have nothing on here, no jimping, no flipper tabs, anything like that. So you have no risk of going down in your pocket, getting change, chapstick, coins, medicine, whatever it may be, and, you know, be at risk of catching the jimping or the flipper tab and pulling the knife up out of your pocket when you pull the hand out of your pocket. So that is nice, but carries well in shorts. I've carried this in, I think, gym shorts once or twice around the house, in khakis multiple times, in and out of the house, going on, you know, going to get groceries, going out for the night, doing different things, yada, yada, yada. It carries well. You know, drops right down in. You have nice amount of tension right there for the clip screw, or for the clip, drops down in. And again, sub 4 ounces, you know, for titanium and a 3.35 inch blade. Can't complain at that at all. Can't complain at that at all. So yeah, no complaints at all from the carry department here with the Tuya Wrath. I'm gonna call it Wraith. So that leads me to my final category of price point and what I recommend this knife. So this current version goes for $249. Now, if you opt for the DLC and frag option, it's $269. So you're paying $20 more, I think, for the frag tie, or excuse me, for the DLC. I cannot see what either the Sagaha patterns go for, but I can also see what the diamond pattern DLC coated blade goes for. It's also $269. So I think if you want a DLC coated blade, it's $270. If you want a satin blade, it's $250. And I think either of those prices are very good. You know, I feel like Tuya is really kind of under the radar right now. Like, they're not being advertised as, you know, nearly as much as some other, some of these other, you know, smaller boutique brands that just have so much more popularity than them. And I'm not saying that they're not popular, because they are. They have a following in the knife community. I'm a big fan of their products, but I feel like they're just kind of, you know, they're a little under the radar company, and I feel like more people should be aware of them. I feel like more people should get their products in their hands, because they make fantastic products. And I feel like they're getting so much money, so much value for their money. And I think that for every model that I've handled, you know, I don't think I've handled a Tuya model that has been $300+, and I've handled ones with fat carbon and titanium, and all of them they're doing S90V, which with all their production models, pretty much, you know, their higher end production models, because they still have like budget stuff on the website. But, you know, sub $300 for, like I said, titanium, S90V, fantastic action, great ergos, some fat carbons, carbon fibers, whatever it may be, that is hard to beat. So I think they're playing a very good value game here. And I think as long as they can live in that, you know, sort of, seems like their sweet spot is $250 to $300. And I think if they can live in that price range for a while and keep producing great knives and great models, I think that they're going to do very, very well for themselves. Dave, if you were watching this, I really do have to give kudos to you because I think you guys are killing it in that price range. Everything is just really, really good, and everything that I've handled has been awesome. I don't think I've had a bad product from you guys that I could, every one that I can remember, I've enjoyed. So, and the Wraith is right on that list with it. So I can't, say much more better things about this knife. If you guys are interested in it, pretty much if you like the design of it, go buy the knife. You're going to like it. Great materials, great action, great ergos, carries really good, just an all around fantastic knife. So I cannot say too many more great things about it. I think I've already gave you guys my opinion on it. I think, it's a very positive review. I think you guys were able to get sort of, my opinions on it, sort of where I'm coming from. But yeah, I can absolutely recommend it. I think it's a fantastic knife, fantastic company. And Dave is just a really nice human being. He's a great guy. Anytime I've chatted with him, he's just been very responsive. And yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna start rambling now, but I think this is just the Tuya Wraith is a fantastic knife. Please go check one of these out. As always, linked in the description down below. And again, there's only 3 different variations available. If you guys are interested, definitely go check them out and buy one before they go out of stock, because I don't know how quick they're going to be back in stock. So, but yeah, huge shout out to the Apex Passaround group for loading this out. I always appreciate David over there for running it and for adding cool products to the Passaround. And yeah, leave a comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the Wraith? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know your thoughts on Tuya too. It better be positive though, because every knife I've had has been really good. No, I'm just kidding. Let me know your true thoughts. But I think you guys, if some of you out there have not handled Tuya knives and you're interested in them, you will not be disappointed. I think every single one that I've handled has been awesome. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up now, but thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, and night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.